Good afternoon. Once again, this is Matthias from Future Fast Forward. You will see that I'm in very formal attire. This is because I just came back from a court hearing in the Court of Appeal. As you know, I was charged under the Anti-Terrorism Act, SOSMA, for allegedly attempting to sabotage the banking and financial institutions of Malaysia, thereby destroying the economy of Malaysia. There was an application by the first accused, my colleague Datuk Khairudin Abu Hassan, which application was dismissed this morning, and they intend to appeal to the federal court. Therefore, the appeal proper, the main appeal, has yet to be heard, has been adjourned. That's why today I'm still free and able to talk to you. But I have something very important to say to all of you, Malaysians and my friends overseas, but more particularly to Umno members. I have been charged unlawfully for sabotaging the economy of Malaysia, for bringing to disrepute the banking and financial institutions of Malaysia. Let me say that events since I was charged on October 12, 2015 has superseded many things, many events and many facts. Most importantly, as admitted by none other than CEO Arukanda of 1MDB, that fraud has been perpetrated to the extent that a joint venture partner or a business partner, the sovereign fund of the Abu Dhabi government, has recently told the entire world in a submission to the London Stock Exchange they have terminated a financial agreement with MDB on the grounds that they have defaulted in the performance of their obligations to the sovereign fund of Abu Dhabi government. And this is very significant, because by that default of 1MDB, and this has been accused by a government entity, the Abu Dhabi Investment Fund, IPIC, that they are in default. So we have to take this seriously, this accusation. And as a result of that default, 50 million US dollars, I repeat, 50 million US dollars, which was payable on the 18th of April, Monday, 2 days ago, has not been paid by the Abu Dhabi government sovereign fund, on the basis they are no longer obligated to pay the interest payments under the so-called agreement with MDB because of the default of 1MDB. In any event, as a matter of law, whoever is responsible to pay the 50 million US interest, since the sum is not paid, there is a default. This must be very clear. There is a default now, regardless whether who is responsible for the payment of the 50 million US dollars. And as a result, the entire integrity of Malaysia is at stake now. Alright? I will explain that later. But recently, prior to this horrendous news, there was a statement made allegedly by the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia that the 2.8 billion ringgit in the personal account of the Prime Minister was, in his, if I may paraphrase the words, he was aware that it was a donation from the Saudis, and that the Attorney General of Malaysia, he was aware that the Attorney General of Malaysia has investigated the case and deemed it to be a donation, and therefore no more investigation. The matter is closed. pause here. This is a very important fact. This statement was given by the foreign minister in Istanbul at the OIC Summit Conference. Yet, the entire government machinery, the key scumbag UMNO leaders, latch on this statement and say, voila, Prime Minister Najib is no longer guilty of any offense. He is clean, white, pure as a virgin, because the foreign minister of Saudi Arabia said so. And the Attorney General relied on a press report, and I emphasize to you, this is a press statement, no hard evidence, said that he was correct in exonerating the Prime Minister when the investigative papers were submitted by MECC to him a few months ago. And he reaffirmed that there will be no more investigation against the Prime Minister. However, these scumbag UMNO leaders conveniently forgot that in February, in an interview with the New York Times, the same foreign minister from Saudi Arabia said that there was no donation. This money was an investment by a private citizen and does not concern any Saudi Arabian royal family. Pause, right? So now I got two facts, right? A prior statement in February by the foreign minister, not a donation, an investment, so to speak, of a private citizen. Now he flip-flopped and changed the statement to be a donation. Okay, bear that in mind. I will now go back a few months earlier. The Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia, Zaid Hamidi, told the whole world and the country that he personally met with the donor. Singular, with the donor. Subsequently, he said he met with donors. Okay? And therefore, there was no hanky-panky insofar as the 2.8 billion ringgit in the Prime Minister's personal account. Bear that in mind. Now let me tell you how a lawyer, an experienced lawyer in the art of cross-examination, will tear this story apart. Now, if this statement by the Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia, Zaid Hamidi, is in fact true, ironclad evidence, true, beyond criticism, right? Beyond examination, beyond scrutiny. Why? And I repeat again, why, when the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia in February said it was not a donation, why did Zaid Hamidi not come out and say, Mr. Foreign Minister, you are wrong. It is not investment, it's a donation because I saw the donors, or I saw the documents, whatever. My evidence is a donation, ironclad. You are wrong. Please check your evidence. He kept quiet. The other scumbag leaders of UMNO kept silent. The silence was so deafening, you can hear the pin drop. They did not counter the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia. Alright? Silence. They buried head in the sand and showed off the bloody ass to the whole world. Yet, a few days ago, at the Istanbul Summit of the OIC conference, when he, the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia, flip-flopped and said it is a donation, oh my God! Everyone jumped on the bandwagon and says, it is a donation. As if his word is gospel truth or Quranic truth. Alright? They latch on to him. Even Zaid Hamidi. Why? If your evidence is ironclad, do you need to rely on a press statement of a foreign minister? Or would you come out in the open, Zaid Hamidi, Saleh Krouat, and say, on what day I saw so and so, which prince, which Saudi Arabia, where, when, what time, what location, and what documents were shown to me, which bank account that money was transferred from Saudi Arabia bank to the bank in Singapore and thereon to the bank in Malaysia. M-Bank. M-Bank is summary of Arab Malaysian Bank. Bear in mind, right, the key word. M-Bank is the abbreviation of Arab Malaysian Bank. And the big time owners are two entities. The Australian Bank, who holds about 21%, and Azman Hashim Tan Sri. Okay. So these are the facts. If you have an ironclad case, why latch on to him, the foreign minister? Why would Attorney General use the foreign minister's statement to buttress his stand? Isn't it odd? In a court of law, such evidence of foreign minister means nothing. Hearsay. And if he is in court, he'll be torn to pieces because he will be asked to substantiate who told him what, when, where, documentation, whatever. He said, I was aware. The key was aware. Not I saw the documents, I saw the prince, or I saw the king, I had direct knowledge. No, I was aware. Be that as it may, be that as it may. Let me say to you that a more crucial evidence has now come out into the open. And I challenge the Deputy Prime Minister, those scumbags Umno leaders in the Supreme Council, like Salih Buak, Azalina, Ahmad Maslans, Nasri, and all these scumbags. And to the police, to the IGP, and to the Prime Minister, and to M-Bank Chairman Azman Hashim, and those Australian CEOs, CFOs, whatever, in charge of M-Bank. Wall Street Journal on the 19th of April make a stunning disclosure which everyone in Malaysia can verify and corroborate in a matter of minutes. Let me read to you what was said. In March 2013, a young Malaysian financier sent a heads up to an employee at the Kuala Lumpur Bank that 681 American pies soon be arriving from overseas. Let's pause. 681 American pie is a code word for the $681 million, remember? That was transferred from a Swiss bank in Singapore to the account of the Prime Minister. And when converted to ringgit, came to about 2.8 billion ringgit. So this was the code, 681 American pie. It cannot be a coincidence. It must refer to the same thing. It goes on to say, the sender Joe Low emphasized the need for secrecy. According to a transcript of BlackBerry instant messages reviewed by Wall Street Journal, the employee who received this message, this BlackBerry message, he wrote, should tell the bank's chief executive that PM didn't want his name, address, or identity card to appear on the transaction. And within days, 681 million, therefore I'm right in saying that the 681 American pie refers to 681 million. Within days, 681 million arrived in two transfers at M-Bank Berhad to be deposited in the personal account of Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak, according to documents seen by the journal. Let's pause here. Let's make this case very clear and stop pussyfooting, you Umno scumbags, you leaders in the MKT Supreme Council. Wall Street Journal has disclosed there was a BlackBerry transcript sent from Joe Low to an employee, a very senior employee at M-Bank. You want evidence? Very simple. You scumbags, you go to M-Bank. You ask who in M-Bank received this message. Who in M-Bank executed the deposit of 681 million in a personal account of the Prime Minister? Okay? The police, you can check. Hold this fella, arrest him. Alright? As you have arrested me. Without bail. Under SOSMA. Because by doing this, Jolo, this scumbag, this financial rapist, this criminal, in complicity with this officer of AmBank, has sabotaged the economy of Malaysia, has sabotaged the reputation of the banking and financial institutions of Malaysia. Go after him and not me. Have the guts. And now you can even ask the CEO whether such an employee communicated with him, to him, that he received such a message from Jolo that 681 American Pie, the code word was 681 million US dollars, was transmitted. Okay? If you can't come up with any answer, you are damned. All of you in Umno are accomplices, the leaders of Umno, to this fraud, to this scam. Okay? And it is not denied at all to today that $681 million, supposedly from an Arab, would be transmitted to a bank, a Swiss bank, owned by the Abu Dhabi government, Falcon Private Bank. Does it make sense? Why would the Saudi Arabian so-called donors, if they were genuine, go through a Swiss bank owned by Abu Dhabi? Where is the nexus? Where is the connection? There's only one connection, Jolo. And then the money was paid to an account of BSI Bank, or Falcon Bank in Singapore, to a company called the Tenor Corporation. Hallelujah! Scumbags, dumb fools. That corporation was set up by a chap called Tan Kim Lung, another China Kwai, an associate of Jolo, the rapist, the gangster. Okay? Look for him. Why are you police, IGP, not looking for this guy? Why would a Malaysian company, why would a Malaysian be shareholder of a company having an account in BSI Bank, receiving 681 million as per instruction Jolo, and that same money was transferred to the personal account of the Prime Minister? Explain. I bet you can't. And I challenge you, all of you, each and every member MKT, stop your nonsense and tell the country to move on. Stop your nonsense and say you know the truth. You don't know the truth. You're bloody parrots, scumbags, tape recorder, repeating, right? Baseless defense of the Prime Minister. Here is the truth. If you say Wall Street is lying, haul up Tan Sri Asman Hashim, haul up the CEO of AmBank, haul up this officer who received this message from BlackBerry of Jolo. Grill them and then come out in a press statement. If not, I challenge you to a public debate. You scumbags, you cowards. You dare charge me for sabotage and SOSMA, but you dare not go after Jolo, a China Kwai, Tan Kim Lung, another China Kwai, who fleece you, insult you, and humiliate you. You scumbags, you cowards, have no guts to do anything. But you parrot in defense of Umno. And you got a cheek, Salim Puak, to pose that question to Tun Mahathir. What do you gain by aligning yourself with DAP and destroying Umno? You stupid scumbag. Are you saying to the whole country, to the whole world, that your party, with you as part of the leaders of that great group, MKT Supreme Council, will not survive this country, will not survive this episode without Najib as Prime Minister? The entire MKT Supreme Council is so intellectually bankrupt, so morally bankrupt, that you have to hang on to the coattails of Najib, failing which the country will collapse, you will die, Well, of course you will die. Because of why? You're hollow, you're corrupt, you have no moral fiber, you have no backbone, you're empty, you're broken. UMNO is broken because you bunch of scumbags tell lies to the country. The country survived the first Prime Minister, Tun Abdul Rahman. The country survived the second Prime Minister, Tun Razak. The country survived the third Prime Minister, Tun Hussein On. The country has survived the retirement of Tun Mahathir Mohamad. The country has survived the resignation of Pak La, the fifth Prime Minister. He was ousted by your president now, Najib. UMNO remain, the country remain. So are you saying to the whole world and to this country and to your own UMNO members that if Najib was to go away and answer for his sins, UMNO will collapse? If you say that to me and to your fellow Malay members of UMNO, then you are hollow, you are zilk, you're empty, you're broken, you're hot air, all thunder, no rain, useless. Useless. I challenge all of you in MKT. One by one, public debate. Debate with me and prove me wrong. Otherwise, shut up. Shut up. Because you do not have the guts to charge Joe Low or to arrest Tan Kim Lung or the officer now who received a BlackBerry message from Joe Low. Let me say to you, there's already a finding. Like I said in my previous speech, it is not a coincidence that you scumbags caused the PAC report to be submitted on the 7th of April, the last day of Parliament sitting, so there's no debate. And to counter, because you know very well if the PAC report was not submitted to Parliament on 7th April, there's only one document that will destroy your scumbag crimes and expose you for what you are, scumbags. Because on the 7th of April, Mark Branson, the CEO of the Swiss, and I read to you, the CEO of Swiss Financial Market Supervision Authority, Finma, Mark Branson, in a speech, in a statement said this, and I quote, and you listen carefully, you UMNO members, you Supreme Council members, don't give excuse you don't know. I'm now reading to you a statement of fact. If you accept a statement, a press statement, in less than 3 minutes, you should pay more attention to this because it's an official document. Alright? The words aware was not used as in the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia. This is actual words. 1MDB is a prime example of money laundering. Understand? Prime example of money laundering. We know that suspect funds also pass through banks headquartered in US, the UK, and the Middle East. Transactions were also processed by many other international financial centers. There are three particularly troubling aspects to these cases. One, Tammo, these are not events from years ago. The money was still being accepted until quite recently. We're not talking about legacy issues, understand? If you don't understand, look up the dictionary. These are not legal issues, these are current issues. Dumb wit. Two, for it looks like we are not dealing here with shades of grey. The evidence points to clear case of corruption, understand? Clear case of corruption. No shades of grey, it's black. Evil, black. Clear case of corruption. And third, the extent of these cases and the sums involved are vast. We're talking about cash flows amounting to several billion US dollars, with individual transactions running into hundreds of billions. You got it? These are finding a fact. So you UMNO leaders in NKT Supreme Council, wake up. Don't hide behind your bloody datuk chips, okay? And your so-called paraphernalia of your stature, MB of Parliament as ministers, you're all scumbags, hollow, empty, a broken record. Okay? Now, one more thing before I conclude. all of you in the cabinet, all of you in MKT, Supreme Council Umno, you have betrayed the country. You know why? Because rightly or wrongly, when Abu Dhabi government, IPIC, terminate the agreement with 1MDB to guarantee certain payments of debt and interest, on the grounds that 1MD defaulted in paying them monies, but paid to some strange companies, BVI, British Virgin Island, regardless of whether it's right or wrong, okay? Abu Dhabi has told the whole world and put a gun into the head of 1MDB. You have cheated me. We will not honor payment of the 50 million US dollars payable on the 18th of April 2016. Okay? Let's assume for a moment, okay, I'm going to boost by the horn and give you some credit, the most, that what Abu Dhabi government doing is incorrect. You know, it's like, a kidnapper has kidnapped the hostage and demand a ransom payment. In this case, by analogy, Abu Dhabi government said, I'm not going to pay this 50 million. I'm innocent. You scumbags, you betrayed me. You had to pay that 50 million interest on Monday. Now, 1MDB and the Prime Minister have not stepped in to pay the 50 million US dollars on the grounds that it is not their duty but Abu Dhabi. If I use the analogy of a kidnapped, pay or release the hostage. We will release the hostage. If you don't pay, we'll kill him. By analogy, you know if you don't pay this 15 million interest on the Monday, 18th of April, you'll be default. And the entire integrity and reputation of our country will go to the dogs. Like you may say that if we pay this money, this interest on Monday, we will deem to have agreed that Abu Dhabi is correct. No! As a lawyer, I'm telling you, you can go to court if you can prove that what Abu Dhabi government is saying is lies, then the payment of interest was paid under coercion. Just like when a family pays the ransom for the release of their child, wife, or family. By paying the money with the knowledge of the police, are you saying the family is accomplice of the crime? They have no choice in it. They have to pay to save the life of the hostage. Likewise, if UMNO, you scumbags ministers in the cabinet, you scumbags leaders of MKT, why did you pay up the 50 million US interest? So that in law and in fact, Malaysia would not be deemed to be in default, 1MDB would not deemed to be default, and then later you fight them in international courts or international forum for arbitration and prove you're right. Because you say you have money, you have the cash to pay other obligations. See, you qualify with other obligations. That means you don't have money to pay this 50 million. Why not? Who gave the advice, the decision not to pay this 50 million? Was the cabinet consulted? Because it's involved the entire country and the government. 1MDB is a company owned by the Ministry of Finance, by the government. Can this decision not to pay the 50 million interest, the sole responsibility of one man, the Prime Minister? If it was so, we want to know, why did the Prime Minister decide on his own? If the cabinet was consulted, we want to know when it was consulted. Who agreed? Was it unanimous? Was legal advice obtained from the Attorney General that you did not pay this 50 million interest so as to preserve the integrity and the life of our country? Just as a family would pay a ransom money to preserve the life of the hostage, and then when we recover the hostage, the police can hunt down the kidnappers. Likewise, if you say you are innocent, you are right, Abu Dhabi is wrong, like the family of the hostage, you pay the 50 million interest to save the life of the family. our country and then take them on in court of law and fight them, but he did not. So I want to know who the hell advised that we put our country in jeopardy. So in the end, who has jeopardized the economy of Malaysia? Who has sabotaged the economy of Malaysia? Who has sabotaged the banking and financial institutions? Come on, answer me, you scumbags, MKT leaders, Supreme Council leaders. AmBank, Arab Malaysia Bank, the CEO, that officer, in corroborating and collaborating with Jolo, has it not brought shame to that same bank, that one bank, AmBank, plus all the other banks and the Republic of Malaysia? So who has sabotaged? Who has committed a crime under SOSMA? Who is the financial terrorist? It's Jolo, isn't it? And Takim Lun, isn't it? And those Arab scumbags, right? In Petrol Saudi. Tariq Obeid, Petrol Mahoney. And this scumbag in Abu Dhabi. Kubaisi, Husseini. And who else I don't know. You have the audacity to charge me for a crime of sabotage against our economy. Shame on you, you scumbags. Let me pause here and conclude. Fellow Malaysians, I make no apology for this very harsh, brutal critique of the entire government, of the leaders of Umno as personified in the Supreme Council, MKT. Because, let me tell you to the members of Umno. If you listen to people like Salih Kroak, Azalina, Ahmad Mazlan, Ismail Sabri, Nazri, and Zaid Hamidi, you deserve to die as a party. Umno deserve to die and be buried as a party. You know why? Because you know Umno by its members, Umno by the resilience of its members, God-fearing members, excuse me, trustworthy members, can easily rebuild Umno and win more victories in the future. You are not beholden to a bunch of scumbags, traitors. No one is indispensable. Not Najib, not any other leader. Alright? So, Umno members, you have a duty and you have a decision to make. You either save Umno, you can save Umno and rebuild Umno if you get rid of scumbags, traitors, cowards with no backbones. And pray to Almighty God. Surrender to His will. As absolute faith, He will defend you, guide you, and protect you in all circumstances against all enemies and all adversaries. You don't need a foreign Muslim, Zakir Naik, to tell you that. I'm a Malaysian, like you. I'm fighting for my country. I'm fighting for the integrity of my country. Join me and fight and prove to the whole world that Umno can be strong, can be resilient, and can recover and will secure more victories. Otherwise, you deserve to be broken up. You deserve to be drowned in shame. You deserve to wallow in a cesspool of shit and bullshit and horseshit. This is the last chance for you, okay? I'll give you the evidence. Prove Wall Street wrong. Prove them wrong by talking to CEO of AmBank, by talking to the officer now. Don't waste time. Look for Tan Kim Loong. Go to Interpol. Ask for red notice against Jolo, against Tan Kim Loong, the shareholder of Tenor Corporation in Singapore. If you don't do that, don't ever talk to us. Don't ask us to go forward, and move on. I'm saying to you, in conclusion, we will not move on. You move out, move back, get out of our sight, get out of our on the highway. We want to move fast to achieve victory. You're holding us back. Move on with you as baggage. I say, good riddance to bad rubbish. You get out of our sight, move out, move away, and jump out. To that, I thank you for watching and listening to me. I can't help because to be so blunt, because I don't think anything else will wake you up. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a good day.